I think these people don't love me quite enough.
Meet Jay Smith, aka Smitty. He spent most of his years performing other people's music. Lately, he's been writing original music. Recently, one of his songs touched audiences all around the world with a song that comes right from his heart.
First instrument was? What was
cardboard boxes and the pots and pans.
Oh, your mom loved that.
I was about 5. Yeah, they did. Well, my parents, like I was born in the 70s, and my parents were pretty free people and very musical and always listening to records. And even at that age, I was, playing with the needle and always just listening to Led Zeppelin and even Trooper back then. And music was always in my life. And my uncle was a bluegrass musician. And when you'd go out to the farm, he literally didn't care if you picked up a $1,000 banjo or a $4,000 guitar that he built or an old Martin. He literally would just let me play whatever we wanted. He always encouraged. My Uncle Bernard was just the best, and he always inspired me.
So why Kingston? You're here. Why not Nashville? What is it about here?
Born and raised here, and I love Kingston. Kingston is such an amazing city, and the people here. I'm not going to find better people anywhere else. So it's, right. But going to Nashville and stuff, it's a necessity, right? Like if you want to sell a song or you want to write a really great song or be surrounded with other people that are doing the same thing, Nashville's where you need to be if you're doing country music kind of thing. LA's for your rock bands, and I mean it's so on and so forth. Like but Kingston's my home. It's where my family is. This is where I live. The brass pretty much was the start of my career.
Yeah.
My actual professional music career.
Well, they put you on the map in Kingston. Well, now it's Smitty Kingston.
Smitty Kingston, yeah.
Everyone knows you as Smitty Kingston.
For me, the songwriting now is hopefully going to be the end game. I'm not going to have to play in pubs and bars till 2 o'clock in the morning and then have to come home and get up at 7:30 in the morning, take the kids to school, and then do that.
I cannot do that.
I mean, I love it. It's my life, and that's what I do. But the end game would be to be able to play shorter sets, open up for bigger artists, play my original music, and get the songs out there and sell songs and get into publishing. And because I want to be known as a songwriter, and that's what I want to hear from other people as well. Smitty can write songs.
Wake up early, bed late, a farmer's work doesn't wait. Sore bones and raw hands, all these years of work in this land.
But you're a pretty emotional guy,
Right.
And I can relate. I'm very highly sensitive, and which makes it really beautiful, and it's incredible. Like, you can write something so quickly because you feel something you can put into music right away. And I know this year it was a tragedy happened out west that impacted all of Canada. And can you talk about that night that really it had a huge impact on you?
Yeah, so I was gigging all weekend, and the accident in Saskatchewan happened on the Friday night, the Humboldt Broncos hockey team, and I hadn't really seen much about it until Monday when my weekend had settled down. So I was in bed with my wife, and she had fallen asleep, so I started flipping through Facebook and saw all these pictures of sticks out by the door and, pictures of the crash site and like a DVD of Slapshot on the ground and all that stuff. So I thought, well, I better get out of bed and go do what I do late at night, and that's usually write songs. So I went out to the front room, picked up my old Gibson, and sat down with the pen and paper, and about 12:15, I guess it was, in the morning, and then was done within a half an hour, and threw the phone down and did a one-take video and posted it.
Left a stick out on the front step and signed all your names. Turned the porch light on just in case you wanted one more game. No referees, scoreboards, and the periods never end. Use the clouds as the ice rink while you play with all your friends.
The whole thing was just, for me, being a dad, for being a hockey player, being a Canadian, growing up playing hockey and coaching hockey, it crushed me like it did everybody. And the biggest thing is that people coming up after they had heard the song and saying, "Hey, how did you write that?" And it's, well, those words are exactly what everybody else was thinking. So that's, and me, I'm not great at just expressing myself by a one-on-one conversation normally. So like you were talking about earlier, about being out of my comfort zone, this is a big one for me. But it's writing songs is how I deliver stuff out of my head, so I can have a bit of peace and quiet.
Now, that was your way of processing it, but what actually happened? It became something that was a gift for the families. Can you talk about how the reaction to the video, this started carrying across all of Canada?
The world, yeah. It literally, I just set it and forget it. Like I posted it and went to bed and got up and it was at 8,000 or 9,000 views to take my kids to school. And then my oldest daughter she's the one that saw it, and she's like, "Look at all these people saw your video." And then I took them to school and came home, and it had doubled within an hour. And then I picked them up from school at 3:30, and it was at like 225,000. Went to bed that night, and it was at 900, and woke up, it was 1.2 million within like 26 hours.
You ended up flying out there.
Yep. They asked if I would come play the song in Edmonton at the service for the boys. And I said, of course. And then somebody locally stepped up and heard that was happening, and they covered my trip out there and took care of that. So
the Kingston,
a local Kingston business. So they covered that, and I went out there and did the service. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. What this song is doing for people, because I was getting messages from Norway, Australia, all over the world. Like, I mean, we're talking, people were messaging me from everywhere.
Not even just Canada.
Not just Canada, no, I'm like everywhere. And I was just amazed and shocked. And standing on that stage, before I went up, I can truthfully say that I kind of prayed and said, just give me 3 minutes to get through this, and you can do with me what you want when I'm done, but I need to get through this.
Hey, Mom and Dad, well, I made it to the show. You always told me that I would, so don't you worry anymore. I got my teammates by my side, so you don't have to cry. Just promise me one last thing, you'll leave the light on, put my stick out by the door.
So you've written 40 songs in the last couple of months, since November.
Yep.
If you could go back, what famous song would you have liked to have written in that time?
So my favorite song, and the one that I wish I had written because it literally defines me and my life up till now, was The Whiskey and You by Chris Stapleton. But I didn't write it, so.
But you've written something just as good.
Yeah, absolutely, I think so.
What's it called?
It's called Perfect 10. It's about my wife.
I was going to say, is it about you?
It's about my wife. I'm a solid 6.
Perfect 10, and can you elaborate?
Elaborate about the song? Sure. It's literally about my wife, like everything about her, even through her parents in the chorus and stuff, like 2 and 3 are mom and dad, because if it wasn't for mom and dad, I wouldn't have her, and 1 and 2 are the kids we have, and yeah. We met in August, so 8 is the month we fell in love and found each other. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining Smitty and I here in the studio. And if you want to know more about this incredible musician and the songs that he's writing, join Smitty at smittykingston.com. Now, can you play that song?
Woo! Need some fiddle in there. How did I get so lucky? She must have fallen from the sky above me. I'm just a regular guy who's looking for somebody to love me. Everything that a man could want, the best work the Lord has ever done. Maybe I'm just dreaming. I hope she thinks that I'm worth keeping. 1 and 2, all the kids we have. 3 and 4 for mom and dad. 5 and 6, that's just halfway there. Yeah. 7 days all the week we love. 8 was the month we found each other. 9, that's the cloud I'm living in. Yeah, 'cause she's a perfect 10.